Most Americans are just getting by with little or nothing to fall back on. A new survey shows that more than 3/4 of American households live paycheck to paycheck, and just 24% have enough savings to cover 6 months of expenses. Alexa von Tobel is a certified financial planner and founder and CEO of LearnVest.com. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning.
We hear so much about how the economy is getting better, the stock market's up, the housing market is looking stronger, but people are still having trouble saving.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I love talking about this topic because it is just so incredibly important. But coming out of such a terrible recession, most people can't change their financial lives overnight, right? You can't save $40,000, whatever you may need, in minutes. So it does take time. So though we have a lot of confidence right now, the fundamentals are really not in place.
Right. In fact, consumer confidence, I think, is at like a 6-year high. So why are people feeling so good about the economy but still unable to save?
Yeah, so things are moving in the right direction, but it doesn't mean that your wallet necessarily is catching up. We're seeing tremendous improvements, but think about what it means to live paycheck to paycheck and how deeply stressful that is. We've all juggled before. It's a terrible feeling, and most of the country is really shrouded in that right now.
How are we doing compared to the pre-recession days in terms of saving?
Yeah, so we are making a lot of progress. The 3-month savings, so in general, we want you to have 6 months of savings of an emergency savings account, but we were at 39% of the country had at least 3 months. We're now at 50% of the country has at least 3 months, but it's still not enough.
That's a big improvement, though. That tells you a mindset. There's been a mindset change in a lot of ways.
That's exactly right. There is a mindset change.
So what can people do if they need to bump themselves up from a month or two to 3 or 6 months?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing is you have to stop living beyond your means. If you're not saving at least 20% of what you take home every month for the future, you're not saving enough. And I love the simple tip of just automate your savings. Think of yourself as a bill and pay yourself first.
Right.
And it just, again, out of sight, out of mind. Go ahead and contribute to your 401k, to your emergency savings account without thinking about it.
I love that idea. Think of yourself as a bill and pay yourself first.
Yeah, I want to pay myself first.
Yeah, I do too. But of course, a lot of people will say, look, I can't afford 20%. I just don't have that money.
Yeah, so one of the most important things you can do is really scrub your expenses. Cut the things that you don't need. Cut back on things like your cable. The most important thing is to have financial security. That's what a freedom fund, an emergency savings account really is. And you want at least 6 months because it takes that long to find a job on the same trajectory or better so that you stay on the same career path.
Unfortunately, too many people have learned that.
Right. And what are some of the biggest mistakes that people make? What are things that people are spending on without realizing it?
I mean, I think people are shopping when they're not thinking about it. They don't really have a budget in place. 50% should go to your essentials, 20% should go to the future, and 30% is your lifestyle. That's the fun stuff. Most people are spending way too much on the fun stuff, or they're overspending on their rent. So you really have to look, get a financial plan, understand what's going on in your life.
And most people probably don't have a budget either, do they?
That's right. So, LearnVest is all about getting a plan. That's why we're here. So
Alexa von Tobel, thanks so much for being with us this morning.